Big primetime showdown tomorrow. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the Locker Room on YouTube. You know what it is. Let's get it. Hey. Locker Room. Yeah, we in the locker room. Texas talk. Yeah, you know what we about to do. Localize. Every angle's what we really do. We the source. We the pulse of the city too. Landlocked. Got the game.
It's going to be a fun night tomorrow. Fun night tomorrow. Feels like it's a long ways away. I would say one sleep away, but let's be honest, it might be two, depending what your nap schedule is during the weekend. It is the Locker Room, number one source for Texans digital content. I am Landry Locker. Shout out to everyone who joined SNL yesterday at BB's Tex Orleans out there in Kingwood. We'll be back at Spanky's this week, this Friday. I should say next week because the week hasn't started, but we'll be back at Spanky's Sharpstown this upcoming Friday, the next Friday, and we hope to see you there. Shout out to Sleeper for sponsoring the video. They actually have a really cool thing going on right now. I know a lot of you have been tailing the picks. We've actually been doing pretty good lately with the higher lower. Talked to a lot of people yesterday who have used the Sleeper app now as their scoring app because it is the best. But now there's a new opportunity. There's a new contest. And it's very simple. All you got to do is trail the picks I'm about to give. It can be $1, it can be $5, it can be 10, whatever. Take a screenshot and then email it to hmasleeperpicks@gmail.com. That's hmasleeperpicks@gmail.com. And you'll have a chance to win $100 redeemable on the Sleeper app. And if you haven't done this, you can get $20 free by doing so. But here are the picks that we are going to use on Sleeper. We are going to use Nick Chubb, higher rushing yards, higher 21.5. CJ Stroud, higher than 1.5 passing touchdowns. We're going to go Mahomes, higher than 1.5 passing touchdowns, and the continuation of the slump that is the 2025 season of Xavier Worthy. We're going to say he does not score a touchdown. That is 7.9 to 1. Again, all you got to do is tail that. Send the email to hmasleeperpicks@gmail.com, and you have a chance to win $100 to use on Sleeper. So there we go. Very, very cool thing that Sleeper is doing, and it is the best sports app in the game. I want to talk about this game tomorrow, and I have 10 thoughts that I've gathered based on all the dialogue that we've had when it comes to this game on Sunday. And on the chat, Logan Taylor says the Green Goblin is going to start at safety. That should be interesting on itself, and it will be interesting to see how Kansas City does attack the Texans with Jalen Petrie playing against them for the first time in the D'Amico era, believe it or not. He was not available for both games last year, so it'll be interesting to see what Jalen Petrie looks like and how they attack him. They had their way with Azeez Al-Shire on Kelsey last season. Last time we saw these two teams meet in the playoffs, and it was not a pretty sight. But this is by far one of the most pivotal ops. I'm just kidding. Pivotal ops of the D'Amico Ryans era on Sunday. My goodness, I need to get off that high grade.
High grade marijuana called Kush on the streets.
It's a pivotal op. Let's create a new word. Pivotal op. It's a pivotal op. Let's get that going. I'm on that high grade. But this is a big opportunity for D'Amico Ryans and company. And I have 10 things that I'm taking away from this, starting with observation number one. Observation number one is pivotal op. The curious cases of the offensive lines. The offensive lines are really, really interesting. And it's something to keep an eye on in both areas. And it's not often that the Texans head into a match where the other offensive line and being handcuffed and being able to block is a bigger story than the Texans. I think right now, I don't want to say it's a honeymoon phase for the Texans in the offensive line, but it is really, really interesting to see that the Kansas City offensive line is getting talked about, and the Texans offensive line, you feel about as good as you have in a long time about them. It's really crazy. And I wonder, we've seen the way that Kansas City has attacked the Texans offensive line. Now, Bobby Slowick made it very easy to get by last season when he had Dalton Schultz lined up one-on-one with George Karlaftis for the majority of the game. We saw that. What's it going to look like now, and how is Spags going to attack? That's something to really keep an eye on. And are the Texans, with their edge duo of Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter, who have started eating at the same time, are they going to be able to take advantage of the Chiefs' 2 starting tackles being out and one of the best guards in the game? The curious case of the offensive lines is really, really interesting, to say the very least. And if you look at what the dialogue is, it feels like Kansas City is getting more attention for their offensive line. And I just wonder if we circle back on postgame and we say, well, we should have been a little bit more concerned about the Texans O-line. Perhaps. Observation number 2. Before we get to that, let's get to the chat. Timothy says Xavier Hutchinson receptions line is 1.5. Take the over all day. CJ targets him a lot. I mean, that's a risky one, but if you want to do that on the Sleeper app, email them that, sprinkle it into the picks, and you'll still be eligible for the contest. If you want to email them. And if you don't have the email, let's send it one more time. hmasleeperpicks@gmail.com. Check that out. Op 2 is the true test of the Petrie impact. We know D'Amico and company love Jalen Petrie. We know that they're big fans of Jalen Petrie. We haven't seen him against the Chiefs. We did see the Chiefs torch the Texans last year in that area where normally you would see Jalen Petrie on the football field. And as a result, you kind of got to a point where you wondered, okay, would Travis Kelce be having this much success? Would he be having this much success against Jalen Petrie? We're going to get to this is the true impact and the true test of one of the more polarizing players on this Texans roster. It's a true test of the Jalen Petrie impact, and we're going to get to see it. With the Guardian cap, I would assume that wasn't a one-off. So we're going to get to see that. And that's going to be interesting. Op 3, old Nick Caley versus Spags. D'Amico, Andy Reid, that's elite on elite. Defense versus offensive mind. Not necessarily the full arsenal, as we mentioned with the offensive line with Andy Reid, but one of the best defenses in the league and one of the best quarterbacks that we've ever seen and one of the best offensive minds. That's a great matchup. But what's going to decide this game is Spags versus Caley. Is Caley able to hold his own? There's some limitations on this offense. There's limitations, but with what he can control, is Nick Caley going to be able to hold his own? That's Ob 3. Ob 4, Kamari Lassiter watch. Are the Texans going to have Kamari Lassiter? If not, that speed that Kansas City has, that slump that Xavier Worthy's been in, it could be broken out of quite quickly. And the Lassiter watch is very crucial in not just in the pass game, but also at the line of scrimmage and in the run game. You heard what D'Amico said about him. I don't think that was coach speak. I think he truly is one of the best tackling, most physical corners in the game, and his absence would hurt. ESG Soccer on the chat says, massive results, my tickets. You're talking about the World Cup. He says Portugal ×2, Germany, Netherlands coming to NRG. Caley out. Hope Locke is healthy. Need him 100%. I'm chilling today. But congrats on the World Cup. I did not pay any attention to it, but I'm very happy for you that you get to experience that once in a lifetime op. of the World Cup coming through. That's pivotable. Of 5, can either team run the ball? Kansas City's run game has gotten a lot of attention. It feels like Kareem Hunt and Pacheco, a lot of times they get in rhythms and they kind of get neglected. The Texans right now, Woody Marks is banged up. He's going to play, but he's banged up. And Nick Chubb is not what he once was. I actually think this is a Nick Chubb game. I think this could be the best, the moment where the Texans probably need Nick Chubb the most. And will they be able to run the ball? That's a question. And will the Chiefs be able to? It's going to be hard to imagine the Chiefs running the ball behind that offensive line, but they may have to. Maybe the element of surprise kind of creeps in. Ob 6, the cold weather Fairbairn watch. The guy does not like cold weather. We've discovered that. We've talked about it. The Texans offense also stalls in the red zone. And a lot of times they rely on 45, 50-yard field goals from Fairbairn. Will he be able to kick those in the cold weather? The Hawaiian does not like cold weather. I hate cold weather too. I can relate to Fairbairn on that, but he does not like the cold weather. Will that impact the game? Huge missed extra point last time they were in this stadium after the opening drive of the second half. Ob 7, clock management watch. D'Amico Ryan's clock management's been getting a lot of criticism. I don't know if it's necessarily fair. I don't like, there's been a few instances, but I don't think it's like some overwhelming concern like a lot of people may believe. But once upon a time, that was one of Andy Reid's biggest knocks was clock management. Quarterback can mask a lot of things, an elite quarterback. But in games like this that are so crucial, it's something to definitely watch. It's something to definitely watch. On the chat, Sal 3Pete689 says, appreciate you doing the damn thing with your podcast. You're a godsend when I'm traveling around the country. Shout out to all the people that are using SNL in the locker room as your go-to with Texans. We talked to some people from Cali yesterday. It's a beauty. And every time we have a Friday, I push it to Saturday, the night stream at 10:30. Got to get some rest. Got to ice up. Gotta chill a little bit. So we move that. But I appreciate you, Sal. And I appreciate the love, and we're all in this together, and it's a hell of a thing to watch. And clock management watch will be the next. Ob 8, Big 12 wide receiver X factors. Xavier Worthy. He never played in the SEC. He was a Big 12 receiver at Texas. They thought he was probably going to have a better year this year than he has. He hasn't had over 85 yards in a game, and it's been disappointing. Rice is clearly their number one guy. Worthy's been disappointing. But in a game like this, do we see Xavier Worthy? Do we see some sort of breakout? That's something to keep an eye on. And then the Texans got 3 Big 12 receivers, all from the same school. Xavier Hutchinson, another X factor. And then Jaden Higgins and Jalen Noel. I don't know how much they're going to involve Jalen Noel. You can even say Christian Kirk. He didn't play in the SEC. He did play in the SEC, but I think he also played some games in the Big 12 before A&M moved, if I'm not mistaken. So Big 12 receivers, X factors. We know about Nico Collins. We know about Rice. Will any of these guys perhaps break out and surprise? Speaking of Nico, Ob 9, how are they going to guard Nico? I think it's been interesting that teams don't just invest everything they have in stopping Nico Collins. The old Bill Belichick theory, take away their best weapon. I wonder if Spags does that and makes these rookies try to beat him. That's what I would do. Like if I were a defensive coordinator and I were going against the Texans, I'm putting someone over the top on Nico, and Nico's not beating me. And I'm going to make Higgins, I'm going to make Kirk, I'm going to make these young guys beat me. That's what I would do if I were a defensive coordinator. Now, it doesn't seem like a lot of them do it, and it's kind of alarming, but maybe someone smart like Spags will do that. That's something to keep an eye on as well. And then Ob 10, the national media chatter. We're going to get to see Chris Collinsworth. We're going to get to see Mike Tirico. What are they going to have to say? A lot of times when it's national, you kind of roll your eyes. I want to hear what these guys have to say. I want to hear what they say in studio about the Texans. I'm sure the defense is going to get a lot of love. What are they saying about CJ Stroud? There was a time not too long ago that every time the Texans were on primetime, CJ Stroud was the toast of the talk. Now it's kind of the Texans defense. So what will they say in the NBC studio? What are Collinsworth and Tirico going to say? National Analysis Watch is something to keep an eye on. So those are the 10 pivotal things to keep an eye on in this game. And again, if you want to tail the picks, the sleeper picks, shout out to Sleeper. Here they are. Nick Chubb, higher than 21.5 rushing yards. CJ Stroud and Mahomes, both higher than 1.5 passing touchdowns. And then Xavier Worthy, no touchdown. Keep him out of the end zone. Again, all you got to do is tail this pick, send the screenshot. It can be $1. It can be whatever you want. Just email the screenshot of your picks to hmasleeperpicks@gmail.com. Send them that screenshot and get in the contest. We can all use those sleeper bucks. Sleeper bucks are a delicacy for me these days. And we've been doing pretty good. So maybe you win some bread and then you get even more with Sleeper. Appreciate y'all for rolling through. This is a short one. I am going to probably take a nap. I said one sleep away. It might be 3. I might take a nap today. I might take a nap tomorrow. Who knows? It's a pivotal time. Appreciate y'all for rolling through. Always remember, when it comes to this Texan stuff, we're all in it together. Shout out to Sleeper. Be sure to tail those picks. Appreciate y'all for coming through. We're all in this together. Talk to you post game tomorrow night.
Got the game in the headlock. Localize every time. Can't stop, won't stop. Yeah, we top